OpenSSH, but we checked what we've done, we know that it's OpenSSH. And who I am? Who am I? I am one of the developers of OpenSSH protocol, and I also work with the other developers. I work for Mauritius. The other developers, there are two in Australia who both work for Google. We have one in Germany who works for an OpenSSH company. And then we don't have US developers. And I'm going to explain why we don't have developers from the US. And up to now, do you have any questions? So you understand what OpenSSH is, more or less. Okay. So what I'm going to talk about...
Let me ask a question. Why do you use Telnet? I think there was...
Yes,
why do you use Telnet?
Why do you use Telnet?
Some of you were using Telnet. Why?
Because,
and why are you eating Kentucky while Logan is talking?
Because that's what I used to. I use Telnet sometimes because it's supposed to use Telnet instead of Nmap to try to check if a service is running or not.
No, when we're talking about Telnet, we're talking about you're using Telnet to do a protocol check. Let's see, do you use, I don't know if...
Because there are some devices that still use Telnet.
Legacy devices.
Yeah.
No.
I really don't like to use Telnet, but because of work purposes, I need to sometimes because of legacy devices.
And I think there was somebody else.
Just to check the ports and stuff.
No.
Check means as in Telnet, not Telnet.
No, not Telnet, Telnet. Okay. When I'm talking about Telnet, it's like you're using a command line interface to connect to a service. For example, I'm not talking about web because you don't take that to the web. Go to the browser, it's free. Use the browser. Use Telnet, for example, to connect to your router. If you're a small router at home, for example, you can configure it using your web interface. Or you can use, sometimes you can also have Telnet access where you can go and see what's in the router, what it's doing, why it's slow, why it's not working, etc. So, do you use Telnet for stuff like this?
I have an old Netgear that still use Telnet inside. I can't SSH to the box.
At work? It work.
At work, I use Telnet in one very particular situation when I'm upgrading OpenSSH. I confident that the OpenSSH upgrade will run smoothly or will fail. Yeah. If it fails, I no longer have access to my server, which is somewhere in Rotterdam. So what I do is temporarily I launch a Telnet, change my root password.
Yeah. No, it's not like what
you're talking about. One time.
It's a one-time use. Okay.
Exactly.
Let's try to describe OpenSSH. So Logan, I know I'm good. You know, I won't say what's wrong with Telnet. What is the problem with Telnet? It's not secure. It's not secure. Which means that if you're sitting on a network, you can use a sniffer. A person can find out what's your username, what's your password, and once I have your username, once I have your password, it's fun for me. You know what I can do with your username and password? No? No?
What's the point?
The point is that you're using something which is not secure. When you're using something which is not secure, your password, your username leaks out, and you have a security problem. So, OpenSSH in a way, it's a way to give you a secure shell access to your device, your router, your home device sometimes. Okay, for the home, I don't mind. You can use Telnet, but it's bad practice. It's bad practice because let's say we have a router. We have a router around here. We have an API around here for the Wi-Fi. We have an API around here. Should I trust you guys and girls? Should I trust you?
Yes.
No. Definitely you should trust me.
No.
Yes or no? Why?
because
You
someone.
can speak Creole, by the way. So I don't mind to do French, Creole, or English.
I'm a good guy, you can trust me.
See, he's a bad guy. Because he's trying to get me to trust him. Okay, we don't know each other here. Okay, France is quite safe in the sense that if you're going to do something bad to me, I'll punch him. It's easy. But it's not a secure... It's I'm joking. It's not a secure environment. Which means that I'm taking a risk by using internet. Let's say I was on my laptop, my bag, out of my bag. I forgot something at home. I want to check it. I want to use internet to check it. Let's say I want to use internet to check it. And I use internet to check it. I'm connecting to the router. Let's say it's working in it's a broadcast domain where anybody can read what I'm typing on the network. It's possible to do that. I don't know if you tried it. Okay, we can do it. But it's possible to do that. Which means you're taking a risk by... I'm taking a risk by putting my username and password and in an environment where anybody else can read my username, read my password. When the person gets my username and my password, he can access my device, he can do all kind of stuff which I wouldn't want. I said, you want me to trust you? Okay. But I'm not stupid, that's stupid for me to trust just anybody with my own stuff. So that's why we are OpenSSH and we have a developer trying to explain to us what it is
One
about.
silly thing that I can say I use Telnet is that I was working for a service provider. The backbone itself, we don't use SSH.
Because your device doesn't support SSH or because...
It's full of routers. You can't imagine how big the routers are. Just
the size of the routers is not important. For example,
I know. I would just tell you that,
If I may, it's a question of we have been doing
yeah.
since the 1990s. It
Yeah.
has been working,
Yeah.
so there's no reason for us to change. Because
Exactly.
change
The
means we will
backbone-
have to train our personnel, we will have to deploy SSH keys,
And
we have to understand what is going to be the impact of deploying something new on a production network. If it breaks down, we're going to have 10,000 subscribers who are going to phone in. So if it's working, don't touch it.
that's it. So, for years and years, you have I can say hundreds and thousands of customers using it. So I'm not talking about the customer side, but the backbone side. So if we have we have 200,000 customers, multiply it by how many routers we have. Just imagine how big it is. So now, just to make a project to push SSH, I'm not the decision maker, but it's something that has been there always. And for example, I don't know how about the scripting, but I've been using some script to do it. So if I have to download config on 100 routers at the same time, I just make a small script, telnet, and we use TACACS. So we have only one username and one password, and it is telnet behind the TACACS. So you just can enter 10,000 routers at the same time, crop all configs.
You can push your config.
Push your my config.
Yeah.
So it is something that has been there, and I don't know why it is still there, but just to change it, this is...
Let me ask you one question. What is the impact if there is a security problem? I mean, somebody gets hold of your username and password. What's the impact?
So imagine, even if you have the username and password, if you have to hack hundreds of thousands of machines,
No.
it's quite long.
No,
You
you
can
just have to
What-
detect
what-
password.
No, but
I'd
you
like
You
to
have the
provide-
detect password, you have
username
the
and password,
password.
and you also have the address of the 2000 machine. 200.
You know,
He doesn't have it even if he gets the password.
I've,
It will be quite long, there's time to react.
I have a file on my computer which I didn't process yet, which is a list of all the servers, all the mail servers in the world. I was reading something, I think it was around 2007, where somebody asked, can you do something with WhatsApp? And the answer was no, because it was 2007. I think it was last year, somebody did a scan of the internet. I mean, when I say the internet, I mean the entire internet. I think you heard about it.
Yes.
Yeah, a scan of the internet. It sounds, you know, there was a time where a lot of things sound impossible. It's not possible to do it because we don't have the computing power, we don't have the resources. It's something which nobody tried before. There was a guy, I don't know who he is, he's he posted a paper about it. He scanned the entire internet. He found out where we have DNS, where the DNS servers are, where the mail servers are, where the Telnet servers are, where the SSH servers are, where the web servers are. When you think of it, there's probably about over 1 billion machines both on the internet. Some are not connected permanently, but it's quite a huge address space, and it seems impossible, but somebody did it. So when you say that you have 2,000 machines, nobody will find your IP address, I'm going to tell you one question. Okay, you are in Mauritius, which means that I can narrow down the address space to those being used in Mauritius.
I know. First of all, it's like, you know, when you're in the company itself,
Yeah.
you have a private IP address, first of all.
Okay, so
And
you say,
have other securities itself before connecting the data. So it's not that you can connect to the router via public IP address. Just completely forget that.
let me ask you one question. Have you heard of this guy called, I think, what was his name? Snowden?
Okay. I know.
So, you have a private network, you have a private IP address on your network, you have secure firewalls. Oh, you work with an NSA. No, you know, when you think of it, a lot of things which happen are very stupid. Okay, it makes sense in a way because we think that we are secure, but when you think of it, it's stupid because we didn't assess the risk properly. We think that it's secure because nobody did it before. It seems like you have your house, nobody, I don't wish it on you, but nobody came.
Maybe I can give you an example. A person, a French guy, who Googled some words on food and security, and he got a link that gives access to a server, a link to maybe 3 gigabytes of data, no, 12 gigabytes of data, and he just...
Oh, no, that was it was a reporter.
Yeah.
Okay, it was an interesting case.
Yeah.
You are getting a bit off topic.
The point is that even you need to have a username for Swell,
Yeah.
but he had access to that data.
Because somebody made a mistake.
So,
So,
that's the point.
yeah, I'm not trying to tell you that what you're doing is bad, because you don't pay me to tell you that what you're doing is bad. If you pay me to tell you that, no, it's good for my business. I'm going to tell you, if you're going to pay me, I'm going to write a report, I'm going to tell you it's bad. You already know that. It's good if you pay me. But it's bad practice, you're going to get into trouble. If it was my network, I would say, you know, management is going to be a problem, and I told you it's going to be a problem. So tomorrow when it becomes a problem, don't come and blame. No, you're going to blame me. Yeah. I'm going to be blamed, but you can't fire me for the term for this. You can't fire me for not doing my job properly because I warned you about it.
I'd like to reply to that because you say you have, for example, 200,000 customers and you're running 10 MB. First of all, I'll give you like an example that some programmer that is at ease with programming can easily do. For example, you have LLD running, you have 200,000 users.
Okay, so the question is for you as well.
I would just, for example, snip the network and then capture your password because it would be really clear text. Impossible? Really? This is LLD. It's not encrypted.
I can challenge you, you won't be able to.
It's not encrypted.
I can challenge you, you won't be able to.
Have you heard of Belgacom?
Because, you know, the network that we have there, it's
I've learned of their platform.
Okay, what networks?
Okay.
What network did you just challenge?
Just taking the challenge.
No, it's just
You're in security, right? So you work in the security team. So
Okay.
The thing is,
How
Telnet D doesn't
securities
encrypt anything.
there.
Telnet D doesn't encrypt anything between the client and the service. Everything that goes in between is clear text.
So let me tell you. You have one router here and another router here and a switch here, whatever you have.
Yeah.
You are connected, one router connected, all the routers are connected to each other.
Yes.
So just tell me how you're going to sniff in between.
You
You can sniff if there is a PC here connected to another, another backbone, another PC is connected, then you can sniff the traffic. But you won't sniff the backbone. What will you sniff there?
How can you ensure that all routers are updated?
Yeah.
Can you tell me that all routers are updated?
Yeah, what do you want?
Can we let Logan continue?
Yeah.
No, but anyway, when Logan finishes, when he finishes,
The thing is, I would have liked Logan to actually continue. The thing is, once you get access to Ethernet daemon, you have control access to DNS. If you have control access to DNS, if you are using HTTPS or whatever, I could just challenge that because I could just create anything that would replicate the service, and you're dead. Logan?
Are you still a developer of OpenSSH? Because we've been talking, we forgot about the developer.
Sorry?
I continue.
And I'm going to explain why it's very important that even if we have developed this new version, that everybody, when you are at work, you advocate moving to the newest version. And I'm going to explain you one of the advantages, well, some of the advantages. Well, a lot of those changes that we did in OpenSSH was because there's a guy who was working as a military contractor, and he decided to go public and reveal that the NSA, the National Security Agency, has been putting cryptography standards. And we use cryptography in OpenSSH. So what we ended up doing is that previously we never audited the standards because the standards were published by NIST. Turned out that the documentation that it was then produced showed that the NSA was redacting the documents for the NIST, and the NIST just gave the seal of approval. So this had a huge amount of traffic, I think, and the IETF mailing list as well, because people who've been redacting standards have been accused of not doing their job properly. And we found out that some people had affiliations with the NSA, the people who were pushing for such standards. And unfortunately, we also realized that we had to do a complete security audit of OpenSSH and start implementing new measures. I'm going to talk about. So first of all, we have a new key format. It's called ED25519. Why the 25519? Why so complicated? Because the guy who developed this, it's actually part of a mathematical formula that he used, and he chose to give the name of this key algorithm that number. He's a mathematician. Mathematicians like it's
So he's a complicated guy.
he's a complicated guy, but he's bright. He's very bright. He wrote QML. He wrote DNS. I think how many of you know about Daniel J. Bernstein? Okay. Okay. For those people who don't know him, he's a lecturer of mathematics at the university, and he's one of the smartest guys in the security industry. He's one of a really, really good guy. He's a really good top-rated mathematician, and if you read about him, you see that the US government made a case against him, and he defended himself in court.
What was the name of the book?
Daniel J. Bernstein.
Daniel Bernstein.
or better known by his initials on the internet, is DJB. So I'm going to do just a quick demo. So for people who are familiar with OpenSSH, it's exactly the same command line. Okay, instead of you specifying ECDSA or the other keys, you just specify this one, and then it asks you for the user information, and then it asks you to override. You enter your passphrase, and that's it. So we just have this new parameter here for kitchen -d, and then you just put ED25519. And an interesting property of ED25519 is that it's shorter than the ECDSA. And that's an interesting property because DJB, when he developed this algorithm, he originally intended it to be used for DNS. Since the DNS packet is so small, he had to devise a mathematical algorithm which can fit in a DNS packet. So that's one of the nice properties of ED25519 as well. It's really a small key compared to, and it's easy to point out, but what about ECDSA, right? Well, what we found out, the problem with ECDSA is that the way that algorithm was designed is that it relies on the hardware number generator. And turned out that reports published by Snowden showed that the US military has been pressuring hardware vendors to insert weaknesses inside their products. So if you rely on the hardware number generator as an input to your algorithm, and your assumption is that you can trust it, but it turned out that now with the reports we saw that we can't trust them. We can't trust them. In fact, there was a security advisory for FreeBSD. You can go check it out. I can show it later. Where previously in FreeBSD you could let the random number generator directly talk to the operating system. Now we remove this in FreeBSD. What we do is that we take this as a parameter and then we mix it with different events happening, so that we have better random number generator. And
do you have a ECDSA key for comparison for the guy to see what's the difference then?